Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Gitasha Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 8th of February. Nuclear terrorism, an international threat that cannot be ignored, warns India. Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh seek help for their children's education. And fresh snowfall brings hopes for better apple harvest in northern India. And now for all the details. India on Wednesday called for a comprehensive global response in the wake of continuing nuclear security concerns. A report.
Indian Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar said that nuclear terrorism is an international threat that should not serve national strategy. During his opening remarks at a meet on combating nuclear militancy in New Delhi, he also warned that misuse of weapons of mass destruction was not a hypothetical concern in the present situation, especially with the increase in militant attacks in countries across the world.
Terrorism remains the most pervasive and serious challenge to international security. If access to nuclear technology changes state behavior, it is only to be expected that it would also impact on non-state calculations. Nuclear security, therefore, will be a continuing concern, especially as terrorist groups and non-state actors strike deeper roots and explore different avenues to spread terror.
Jaishankar's comments come after reports that China blocked a US-backed proposal at the United Nations to ban Pakistani militant chief Masood Azhar again. He said the fight against nuclear militancy could not succeed without the combined efforts of the global community. The Foreign Secretary also reiterated New Delhi's pledge towards global nuclear non-proliferation and peaceful use of nuclear energy.
Staying on to news from India, India has said that it has taken up with China the matter of opposing the United States' move at the United Nations to designate Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed or JEM chief Masood Azhar as a global terrorist.
China yet again opposed to designate JEM chief Masood Azhar as a global terrorist after United States proposed the move at the United Nations. The proposal was supported by United Kingdom and France. The US proposal came barely weeks after India's efforts to get Azhar banned by the United Nations were blocked by China last December.
We have been informed of this development and we have taken up this matter with the Chinese government.
Azhar is believed to be the mastermind of the terror attack at an Air Force station in India's northern Pathankot sector, in which 7 Indian soldiers were killed. China had last year also requested that a hold be placed on the Indian request to blacklist Azhar.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, the United Nations have condemned the Tuesday suicide attack near Afghan Supreme Court in Kabul. Officials confirmed that 21 people have been killed.
A suicide bomber ripped through a crowd of Afghan Supreme Court employees, killing at least 21 people and injuring over 40. The employees were boarding a bus to go home when the incident took place. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack, but the strike comes at a time when the Taliban has ramped up nationwide insurgency. Condemning the attack, the United Nations in a statement said that indiscriminate attacks against civilians, including employees of the judicial institutions, are violations of human rights and international humanitarian law and cannot be justified. The White House said that it condemned the cowardly attack in the strongest possible terms and commended the Afghan security forces for their rapid response. It also reaffirmed its support to the Afghan government, saying it will defend their people against enemies of peace.
Meanwhile, Afghan Foreign Minister Salahuddin Rabbani, who is currently in Russia, met his Russian counterpart in Moscow and held talks regarding the peace progress in Afghanistan.
Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Tuesday assured his Afghan counterpart Salahuddin Rabbani that his country is willing to cooperate with Afghanistan on a wide range of issues including economic cooperation and to boost Afghanistan's fragile security climate. Lavrov said Russia will continue to aid Afghanistan in military equipment as well as maintenance, adding that reaching a common understanding between Russia and Afghanistan will further speed up the peace progress in Afghanistan.
Мы подтвердили приглашение нашим афганским коллегам на очередную встречу по афганскому урегулированию, которая планируется на середину февраля в Москве с участием представителей России, Афганистана, Китая, Ирана, Пакистана и Индии.
The meeting also discussed issues regarding Afghanistan's application for a full membership in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO. Rabbani's trip to Moscow takes place at a time when the Russian officials have already confirmed Moscow's contacts with the Afghan Taliban who are fighting the Afghan government.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, the Rohingya Muslims from Myanmar who are living as refugees in Bangladesh have been leading a hard life. They are urging the international community and the government to provide education to their children.
The Cox's Bazar hosts refugee camps to thousands of Rohingya Muslims. One of the camps bears the look of a classroom as children are busy reciting English alphabet. But residents of the camp said they need further education for their children and urged the United Nations and the government of Bangladesh to provide support.
আমরা এখানে শিক্ষার সুযোগ সুবিধা পাইছি না কারণ এখানে আমরা রেজিস্টার মানে এখন আমরা সবাই মিয়ানমার জাতি তাহলে আমাদের এখানে কোনো মানে সুযোগ সুবিধা নাই আমরা কোনো কষ্টর বিনিময়ে এখানে লেখাপড়া করছি এখানে সিরিফ মানে ক্লাস 4 পর্যন্ত লেখাপড়া করা যায় তারপর করা যায় না সেটা আমরা মানে যেন আমরা সরকার বা ইউএন যত সংস্থা হোক তারা যেন আমাদের শিক্ষার জন্য আগ্রহী করে সেটা আমার অনুগ্রহ
Nearly 69,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled to Bangladesh since Myanmar security forces responded to attacks on border posts 4 months ago. This is in addition to the more than 200,000 who are already living in Bangladesh. Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar are not classified as a distinct group under citizenship laws and are regarded instead as illegal immigrants from Bangladesh entitled only to limited rights.
Heavy snowfall this season has provided the apple growers in India's northern hill town Shimla a reason to smile. The apple cultivation is expected to be manifold this year owing to snowfall in the province.
Heavy snowfall in India's northern Himachal Pradesh province has brought cheer to apple farmers in the hill town of Shimla who expect a bumper crop this season. After a long dry spell, Shimla has seen repeated spells of heavy snowfall starting December. The snow has provided the soil with ample moisture and promises good fortune for the apple farmers, particularly in the upper belts of Shimla, where almost 70% of the apples from the province are grown.
इस बार जो बर्फबारी हुई है बहुत अच्छी बर्फबारी हुई है इससे बागवानों को काफ़ी फ़ायदा होने वाला है इसे जो बर्फबारी हुई है इससे जो ज़मीन है वो काफ़ी उपजाऊ हो चुकी है और पानी की जो हमारी बेसिकली जो पानी की कमी रहती है वो बहुत दूर हो चुकी है इस बार जो फसलें वो बहुत अच्छी होगी
For a good yield, apple plants require 800 to 1000 hours of chilling below 7 degrees Celsius before they bear flowers in April. Right temperature also helps protect the crop against harmful bacteria and fungus.
Dal Lake in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province is integral to the tourism and recreation sector, with houseboats remaining a major tourist attraction. Owners of houseboats launched a cleanliness awareness drive in the Dal Lake.
Owners of houseboats in world-famous Dal Lake in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province launched an awareness drive on Tuesday, calling upon people to preserve the lake by not throwing pollutants in it. Using a microphone, an appeal was made to the people to keep the lake clean. Also known as the jewel in the crown of Kashmir or Srinagar's jewel, The lake acts as an important source for commercial operations in fishing and water plant harvesting.
हमने एक ड्राइव स्टार्ट की है कि लोगों को अवेयर करें और लोगों को भी अवेयर करें कि ये डल जो है ये डल हमारा सबका है। अगर डल है तो हम है, तो हम लोगों को भी प्रिजर्व जो ये डल को है इसको प्रिजर्व करने के लिए हम किसी भी हद तक जाएंगे और जो हाउस बोट है हेरिटेज है इसको भी बचाने के लिए हम किसी भी हद तक जाएंगे। तो इस
Dal Lake with houseboats have been a major tourist attraction for decades in Kashmir Valley.
This is my first visit to Kashmir and जैसे ही हम लोग एंटर हुए आई वॉज लाइक वाओ दिस इज़ सो प्रिटी और जो नेचुरली इतना मस्त सब प्रिजर्व किया है दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी गुड बट द थिंग इज़ सब हम लोग इंक्लूडिंग अस एवरीवन स्पॉइल्स इट। सबको ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि जैसे सफाई का और वो सबको ध्यान रखना चाहिए तो और भी ज़्यादा प्रिटी लगेगा।
The Dal Lake over the years have deteriorated considerably as thousands and tons of sewage spew into it, feeding weeds and choking the lake and its aquatic life of oxygen. The Dal Lake, Mughal Gardens, Shalimar Bagh and the Nishad Bagh on its periphery are currently undergoing intensive restoration measures.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Nuclear terrorism, an international threat that cannot be ignored, warns India. Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh seek help for their children's education. And fresh snowfall bring hopes for better apple harvest in northern India. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.